Hey guys, it's Allie from Color and Plan with Allie. I was going to do a little bit of a, like a chatty color along, or not really a color along because this is my own original artwork, but just kind of a look into how I make my decisions when I color, and a little bit of chatting. Uh-oh, got something on this. Just a little bit of chatting while I sit and color this piece of original artwork. I just got inspired recently by the Phantom of the Opera, and I love character design, so I wanted to design kind of like my own little character. So yeah, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna color him, and we're gonna walk through how I pick colors and everything. So if that is interesting to you, stay tuned and we will get started. So one of the first things that I do when I'm starting a page is I kind of think about what colors I know I want. Like, I know I want his hair to be brown and I want his eyes to be blue. And so I'm going to look through my color catalog and kind of search for something that incorporates those two colors already. So like if I wanted to search by color, I could go here, and I want kind of a coffee brown for his hair. So let's see if they've got anything with blue in it. This sunset scheme does, but I'm looking for a lighter blue. Whoopsie. So I may go back to the color and search by like sky blue instead. See if there's any that incorporate brown. I kind of like this one. That'd be kind of a, sorry if I was off frame for that. I wasn't paying attention. I like that blue and I like that brown, a bit more orangey brown together. So, but he is also holding a rose. I don't know if I want an orange rose. So let's see. We'll go back to sky blue. There's another one I saw. I think this was the only other one I saw with like a brown in it. This has more of like a, sorry, I did it again. This has more of a, this has the darker brown, the sky blue, and then it has a red in it. So, and it also has this really nice like ivory color almost. So I think we're gonna go with this one and see where we end up. And I'm just gonna print this out on a regular piece of paper just to kind of keep it in front of me. Give me a sec while I get that done. I'm thinking that cream color, it's kind of too yellow to be a skin tone, but no, I do have this Boohoo skin tone set. These are grays. And this is going to be really raw and kind of as I go. Might be making split-second decisions. I also have my swatch charts here so that I can see. I may have already swatched these on this card. Yeah. My sheet, my whatchamacallit. Oh dear, I can't word today. My color palette sheet is printing. Oh, goodness. And so we can kind of, I printed a little darker than what was on the screen, but that's okay, as long as we have general idea. Like this color here. I don't know, I don't want him to look too yellow. I'm afraid that color's gonna be too yellow. Because the way I color, like my own art, is more cartoon, maybe 1 to 2 colors, like a mid-tone and a shading color or something to that effect. So, because if I go with this as the lightest tone, it's gonna turn out really yellow. And I don't know if I don't want him to look jaundiced. So, Might look through. Sorry, I just took a drink of my coffee. Might look through here. Look for a more peachy, orangey tone. That way it's not too far off from here. I think this rose beige could be a good shading, and then we could do like R20 or an R21 as the goodness, I can't think of the words that I'm trying to say today. The flat color and the shading. My brain is not, like, my brain is working, but it's not working with my mouth. I'm sure you all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I think I finally found the right bag of markers. That's what I've been doing this whole time, is trying to find my brush tip markers. Okay, so what did we say? We said R21 and BR3. Let's see if we can find those colors. I'll just kind of show you. This is like the 216 set. I just ordered the supplementary set they just released of 104 to bring my brush tip markers up to the 320. So I am still waiting on those to come in, and when they do, I might do a review on them. Okay, I said BR3. I'm seeing BR1 and BR2, but of course not BR3. And then R21. There's our light tone. Ah, here's BR3. They don't look like they would go together just from that, but on the paper, at least it seems like to me, they'll do really well. I kind of want the lighting to be a little bit harsher, so it's okay that they're further apart than what I would normally do for like a 3-tone blend. So there's our skin tone for him. Let's see what else. We want to pick out a more orangey red for this rose to kind of match this color on the sheet. Let's see. This one is kind of a perfect match. This rouge orange. What would we use as the what would we use as the lightest tone? I might look through my pastel colors and see if there's something. I have the swatch charts for my little sets in here. See if there's any on this sheet, just for kicks and giggles. I'm looking for a light tone for this. Okay, no. This is essentially what I do, and it gets kind of messy, kind of crazy, but it works for me. Alright, now we might be getting somewhere. Definitely want it to have more red undertones. These are like a perfect match. That's too like blue. That's too orange. So that's not going to work. I do also have ones that are not brush tip. I have a few more choices. I'm not seeing a whole lot of orangey reds on here at all, honestly. I might just use the color right next to it. It will be more orangey, but I think against everything else it'll look red. So that's Y4 and Y5. We're just gonna do that. I don't want to spend all day looking for a color. It may not be the perfect color, but they're colors that work. Okay. Now, pick out the color for his eyes. It's going to be lighter than this, I think. When I imagine this particular character, I imagine his eyes more of like this color, and then I'll maybe bring in this on top of it. So BG4 and BG68 are very startling and icy. BG4, BG68. Here is BG68 and BG4. So we have an eye color picked out. And then his hair color, I want like this rich coffee brown. I'm gonna grab out my other swatch charts. I just had them all. Where'd they go? I lose track of things so easy. It gets very messy when I'm coloring. I don't know about you all. This might be a good light tone. This E310. Let's pull it out. And then I want an even darker color to go with it. But chestnut brown might be too dark. Yeah, it's a little darker than that color on there. Even if we have to branch out into other sets, it's okay. I think I have 50 of these Tombow alcohol markers, but literally all the rest of them are Ohuhu. These are not quite dark enough. This one might do nicely. It's E342. This one might be one that is only in the other sets that I have. Give me just a second. Yep, found it. There's our hair color. I'm trying to stick with the colors on this page. Then we might just make his pants the same color brown, and then we may do like a very light blue on his shirt to match his eyes, and then the rose will kind of be the accent piece. And his mask, I'm thinking, is going to be either white or black. I haven't decided. Okay, so I have enough information at this point to start coloring. I am going to pull out a piece of cardstock and just swatch these colors out and make sure they look good together. I have a couple spare pieces of paper I printed this on. This is the Coloring Bliss mixed media paper. I really, really like it because I do use like gel pens and colored pencils on top of my art to add accents and whatnot. And so it's good to have like a paper that can kind of handle it all. I'm gonna grab like a yogurt container for these and I will be right back. Okay. Hold my markers out of my chair. So I have a place to sit. Okay. Now, we are going to, let me make sure I'm in frame. We're gonna swatch some of these colors to make sure they go well together, and I'm going to label them for what I planned on using them for, so I don't get myself confused. I may speed this up to music for you all. with coloring. And I have the sticky note here just because there's a character name here and I don't necessarily want to reveal it yet. So I'm keeping that covered up because you know how it is with intellectual property and stuff like that. We'll start with, sorry, I'm knocking everything over here. We'll start with our skin. I chose a more peachy pinky tone just because like it was, other colors I picked were not working. And I tend to be kind of quiet as I color. Now, I didn't do myself any favors with this line work here because I am struggling to figure out, I think his hair, that's his mask, okay. There's a lot going on up here with his face. I was trying to figure out like where the little pieces of hair are coming down onto his face and where like his face ended and his hair began. I'm still very much an amateur artist. I don't have a lot of time to practice, but when I'm relatively happy with a piece, I like to sit down and color it, and because every little bit of time spent doing art in any way helps like keep my hands steady, because I don't have very steady hands. At least I don't think I do. Here's nice thing about guys is that there's, when they dress up for special occasions, there's not usually a lot of skin showing. My hands, y'all, I've got to work on my hands. It took me like a good 30 or 40 minutes to figure out how to get his hand configured to hold this rose. I think it turned out somewhat okay, like you get the idea, which is usually what I go for with my art. Like, I just want you to get the idea. It doesn't have to be perfect. More of an impressionist, I guess. But like with this style of like character design, it's like some things have to be precise in order for you to even figure out, you know, like what's going on. Because like over here in his face, I got lost. I'm probably gonna get lost again when I lay down this base layer. And he's got a ponytail here. Right now I'm just kind of laying down base layers everywhere because with this particular style, it's not so much about blending, it's more blocky, I guess, because it's cartoony. I'm trying to follow the lines of the art so that the streaks don't show as bad. However, my line work leaves a lot to be desired. I'm practicing it. See, like right here, I'm like, what is hair and what is ear? I don't know. Start up at the root. Okay. Streaks look more natural. Oh, yes. I'm starting to be able to see him come to life a little bit already. It's the first time I've drawn this particular character, and I was very excited to see what he would look like. Because, like, I write descriptions and I can sort of see it in my head, but it doesn't really click until I actually see it. I'm gonna turn the paper to kind of get over here. And I know y'all who are more experienced with alcohol markers are probably like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I am very much a hobbyist. I do this for the kicks and giggles. Oh, I got his ear. Dang it. We'll just pretend that little piece of hair fell into his ear. Not into his ear, that would be quite uncomfortable. Oh, and I got his mask too. I guess his mask will have to be black so that I can cover that. It's okay. It can be fixed. Okay, there's the base layer on the hair. And I'm gonna go back with my second skin tone. Just kind of shadow some things under his mask, especially on his nose. Above his eyebrows, not above his eyebrows, under his eyebrows. Scratch that, reverse it. And there I go, getting crazy with my marker. Imagining the light source coming this way. So under his chin will be shaded, but I'll leave that. Shade that. Under his hair. And I may come in later with like an even darker color for the spots where like the shadow would be very dark. That's it for the preliminary stuff on his skin. I guess I'll go back and do on his hair. And this is not a brush tip marker, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And just kind of following the curve. And that would hit the light, and this where it folds over on itself. I'm not very good at drawing curly hair, so like with Hannah Lynn especially, it's really easy to follow. But with my own, I don't do myself a lot of favors. Because sorry, I have a hard time talking while I'm I kind of like that there's this shadowy line here, so I'm gonna emphasize that. Trying to get like a flicking. It's a little bit harder with a fine tip. Then I don't want to lose the curly texture either. Try not to get his ear. This may be a complete fail, but at least we'll learn something, right? I'm going to leave a highlight right here, just kind of what I'm going from either side. And then my other marker, thankfully, is a brush tip, so I can get in there and blend that out a bit. I always worry that I'm going to put too much shading and then it doesn't end up being enough. Like, I think down here on the, down here on the bottom. Like, yeah, that looks better, at least to me. emphasize that part again a little bit. I'm going to work on this side. Maybe I should have chosen a lighter color for the highlight. I'll make a note of that. Trying to add in a little bit of texture. The shading. I don't know if it's working or if it's going to end up looking straight anyway. So I kind of tried to make the outline wavy so you could still, I hope I'm still in frame, so you could still get the effect of all of this curl that I added in. So I wanted his hair to be really curly, but I think it only ended up wavy. Something I gotta practice. His hair, for sure. I'm not very good at drawing it, not very good at coloring it yet. We'll get there. I try to talk to myself like Bob Ross talks to us, you know. The last thing I want to do with something that is supposed to be a creative outlet is to get discouraged with it. I actually kind of like how this highlight came out. Good job, self. It's always good to give yourself, make sure you acknowledge when you have wins. What I'm going to do his eyebrows since I'm working on the hair anyway. I like the way I drew this one. It's got a little attitude. He's coming along nicely. He's starting to come to life more like, yes, this is how I imagined him. I'm a little hesitant to do the eyes yet. It's just because it's so small of a space. And I'm not sure if I want to make all of this the iris, or sometimes with my style of art I'll go around the outside of it. But I'm not sure if that'll make him look like a cat who's found a ball of yarn, like with his pupils all dilated. Because I really want to like showcase the blue in his eyes, because that is like within the story, that's a very important thing, and it's what helps the heroine recognize him for who he is. A little clue. So those eyes have to really pop. I may move on to the clothes because I think I'm going to do the pants in the same brown as his hair, or maybe a slightly darker color. Maybe I'll go back and find that one color I said was too dark for his hair. I'm looking at it on camera now. I'm like, oh, that's not half bad. I think the curl comes out like, it could definitely be better, but it certainly could be worse, right? Always remember, give yourself compliments. Maybe I was looking on, whoops, let's just throw that in the floor, why don't we? I tell you, my desk gets to be a disaster area while I'm coloring. Oh yeah, I said this chestnut brown, so maybe I could use this and this together. Or this and this. The burnt sienna and the chestnut brown. They're both in the skin tone. So they're there. And they are close enough to our other browns, they're just slightly darker, that it should still fit in with the piece as a whole. I'll swatch them just to be sure I like them. Yeah. I'll have to wait for them to dry, of course. It's hard to tell sometimes. So this is YR95 and this is Y13. Okay. We'll go on and do the base coat for his pants. Make sure he's in frame. Hope I don't lose all my marks like my detail marks, but if I do, I can always draw them back in with a fine liner or something. I'm trying to be really careful not to get streaks. My last one that I did, I just went crazy with the markers and it ended up streaking all over the place. I'm trying to follow the lines, because then maybe it will create a texture in and of itself and it'll look like he's wearing corduroys or something, you know? I'm gonna go from the bottom this time, where it thins out. See, like I like that little crease I made, practicing those two to make my fabric look a little more detailed. I want it to go a different direction now, or past the seam. Okay, self, figure out where you want the line to go. See what I mean? And sometimes I get so excited that the sketch is finished that I forget to go back and clean up the line work, like I definitely did on this one, you can tell. But I do this for fun anyway, so it's not a huge ordeal. At least not to me. Like obviously, I don't sell my artwork, I don't do anything with it except make it, essentially, for my own benefit or enjoyment. Yeah, there we go. Make it for my own enjoyment. It kind of does look like he's wearing corduroys. It's not what I was going for necessarily, but go up from here. I never am sure I like which direction I should take the markers. Okay. Where's the base layer on that? Ooh, I like that. I like that alongside his hair. I think he'll end up looking very suave. At least that's the goal. His belt. I don't know what color his belt should be yet, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Although I did say I think his mask is gonna be black, so if we made the belt black and the shoes black, then it would balance it out. What do you guys think? I know, like, this isn't live, so you can't, like, tell me. But it would be nice to know. I think that's what I'm going to do. If I absolutely hate it, well, there you go. You can always print him out again. I'm looking for... I want my lighter color of the black to lean warm. Because he leans warm because of his hair and skin. Do I have a really dark warm gray here? Let me look in my gray set. Oh, this isn't it. I want a warm gray for my light black. Let's see what we got. Ow, ow, ow. See, I feel like that's too dark. Like it's just gonna... Maybe this green gray 9? Green gray 9, let's find it. I'll swatch it out before I do it. Alright. I'm gonna go grab my black marker. It over with my detail tools because I use it a lot for swatching. Like if there's a white tool that I want to swatch. He was peering at you very mysteriously over that swatch card. But if there's like something white that I want to swatch, it still looks kind of warm to me, or cool. I mean, I think it'll be okay. Okay, we'll do the base layer on the belt, the mask, and the little shoes. You can tell I don't care about the shoes. The way I'm starting to do better about that. Like, I actually made myself draw a pair of heels for another character that I drew. It was very difficult, but I need to practice because I don't want to just give them Mickey Mouse feet all the time. But I try to work on practicing one thing at a time so that I don't get discouraged. So I was like, you know what, if everything else turns out great and the feet are the only thing that look kind of wonky, it's fine. It's fine, I'm still just practicing. I can't expect myself to become a professional artist overnight. Just make tiny little steps forward. Oh, it's gonna bleed. Doggone it. Okay. It's not bad. I'm kind of worried about the mask. It's so close to his face. Like, the face is the thing that I cannot bear to mess up. Oh, that looks good with a black mask. I'm glad I chose black. Like, I can already tell. I'm like, yes. It makes him look very mysterious, which is what I was going for with this piece. He's a secret agent, after all. I'm going to kind of take it the other way. With this dark of a color, I doubt it'll streak, but oh gosh, don't bleed into his eye. Oh, that would be so sad. I get really tentative. I don't use the nice big strokes like I should. And I get nervous that it's gonna bleed everywhere. Yeah, his eyes really are gonna have to stand out against that black though. Hopefully they will, because they'll be light. Okay. It kind of looks like Zorro. Am I thinking of the right character? Is that the one with the sword and he wears a black mask? I think so. Okay. I think I'll go back to the pants now and I will do my shading. I'm kind of just guessing. Draw back in some of these lines. Shade under his belt. Then I can't see the line I made. There we go. Doesn't have to be too pronounced. Shade under there some. And then I'll blend it out. Make sure this is the right color. R95, okay. Now I kind of do messy blending and shading. I'm gonna go the same direction. Don't do that. Okay. I did fuss at myself that time because I know better. We'll let that dry and see how it looks. May have to do some blending out some more. But for now it's okay. I'll go back and shade my So Mickey Mouse feet. Not too worried about those. They're not the focal point. I know that's lazy of me. Shade under where his shirt falls. Shade this side of the belt. And a little bit on this side just to show continuity. And I got it down onto his pants. Now for his mask. This is going to be a little more tricky just because I want to show that there's like, you know, line here for his nose. And then shade. Oh no, I got his eye. No. Careful about that. Shade this side. First we'll shade down here. Shade the bottom of the mask. There we go. I'm gonna blend it out just a little bit. Don't want to make it bleed onto his eyes. Oh, right there. Starting to. Not sure I like how this came out. Blend it out some here. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Okay, at least it has a little bit of dimension. Well, now his belt buckle, that's where I could put in that one color, the cream color. Could make like a goldish, yeah, could make a gold belt buckle. Since he's all warm, he's going to be all warm except for his eyes, which I kind of want the eyes to be the focal point. If I could quit getting marker onto the sides. Let's see. Might be a little too green. Let's see. Ooh, yes, 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 these. I think I'll use Y196 and Y494. Let me take those out. Okay, I couldn't find Y196, so we're going to have to settle for Y195. It's just a tad bit later. I have limited time to film and I can't spend it all looking for markers. Alright, belt buckle. Let's make sure we like these. Tip. I'll let that dry for a second. I might work on the rose. I still haven't decided about his eyes, that's why I haven't done them yet. Or his shirt. I think I want to do his shirt in blue as well. Let's work on this here rose. It's going to be very orangey. Hopefully it will look red against everything else. Right, there are orange roses, right? I forgot to look for a green. This is like my go-to marker for leaves and stuff. This is GY172 Spectrum Green. Look, it's my old high school colors, green and orange. And then on top of that, we'll do GY4. If I can find it. finding every other color except that one. Here it is. Okay. Those will be for our leaves. I'll go back now to the darker color. The belt buckle. This is kind of a subtle detail, but then let me color in for it to color in the middle here. Okay. I think I'll go on and add this color to this. Gosh, that one didn't want to open. Add this color to the stem. I think my daughter just woke up, so if you hear some random things, it's her. Just adding some little touches of shading there to give it a little bit of dimension. Now, I hope this makes it look red. Light's coming from the side. Shade in here. Shade right here. Shade here. And then blend that out. And it definitely still looks orange to me, but it's pretty. I'll let it dry and see how I like it. I could always go in with like a dark red and add some detail, or I might go back with colored pencil. Not sure yet. Okay. Now for his shirt. I think I want it to be, let's see. I'm gonna keep it the same color. I was looking to see if there was a lighter color. Like even lighter than the one I picked for his eyes that I could use on the shirt. I pulled it off of this sheet. I don't think there's anything. It's gonna be the lightest one. I could find a lighter shading color, or just use the shading like super sparingly. And beachy for it's our lightest. Okay. There we go. His shirt's blue. Can't go back now. Always get scared like when I commit to a color, like, oh no, did I screw up? Might be coming to the end of my time here for filming. I'm trying to be much more careful with how I color. Last time my poor character ended up with streaks all over her dress. Trying to avoid that as much as possible. Not sure how I feel about using blue on the shirt now. Almost think maybe I should have left it white. No going back now. What do you guys think? Do you like the blue? Or do you think I should have left it white? Or maybe even done like that gold color on his shirt? Or maybe it'll all come together once I do his eyes. I am not sure. It definitely contrasts nicely with the color of the rose. I'm just still not sure. Okay. I gotta quit avoiding the eyes. And if I don't like this, or if I want the eyes more pronounced, I can always go back in and do color those black. I'm just kind of experimenting right now. So I'm going to put a line of darker blue around there. I kind of like it. And I may add in a pupil to give his gaze a little bit more of an intensity. Ah, a flig. My mom always used to call the little pieces of baby hairs that fly out fligs, so that's what I call them. Okay, since I've committed to the color for the shirt, I'm going to go back in and do just the tiniest bit of shading. Shadow, especially around his hair. Whoops, got outside the lens there. I'm gonna go back in and do a little bit of blending. I like the more blended out look for the shading. Let me add a little bit. I like this line, so I'm going to emphasize it. It's hugging his muscle. Blend out the color shading. My daughter's talking. You can probably hear her. Blend this out. I'm kind of rough on my markers. Thankfully, Not sponsored by Ohuhu, but I use Ohuhu markers, and they are less than $1 a piece, as opposed to $8 a piece. Won't name the brand. But yeah. The more I see that rose against the shirt and his eyes, the more I like the orange color. Look at him on camera. That rose really pops. I kind of like that, honestly. Let me go back in. I'm gonna use a fine liner to add in some pupils. And we might be done for now. Of course, I forgot, I also need to add highlights like on the mask and in his eyeball. I might add a little shiny on his buckle. And I might make his, I forgot to like do anything with those buttons besides sketch them. I might do something with those. Where is my, I was looking for a fine liner. Let me test, okay. I'm not sure if I want them to be looking, I guess it makes sense. See, now that I've done that, I'm not sure that I like it. Might have to go with plan B. Do it to the other side. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. We're going with plan B. Make these as pupils. Sorry, buddy. Messed up your eyeballs. I was afraid I would do that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the outside like that. See, now it's kind of hard to see them. I hate that I did that. Look, I'm not going to color them all again, just to fix that. Just to separate his eyes. I think I liked them better before. Oh well. I should have just left it alone and not given him any pupils, but you know what? It's okay. We still had a fun time coloring. I can always print this out again. Because the more I stare at it, the more I don't like it. Just, can't believe I messed up his eyes. Oh well, I'm sure that happens to all of us. We screw up a piece and we're like, well, doggone it. But thankfully, this is a digital piece of art and I can always print it and color it again. But I hope you all had fun coloring with me today and kind of seeing my process and seeing how I do things. I don't think I'm going to add a bunch of details to this particular one just because I think I want to recolor it since I messed up his eyes. But I hope you all enjoyed coloring with me today, and if you're interested in this piece of art to color it for whatever reason, you can leave me a comment or email me or DM me on Instagram and I can send it to you, as long as you don't distribute it or try to sell it. I hope that you enjoyed coloring with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!